Rana saying ewo UTV so and I wish ne ya sign ehie biem yen komo twetwe a ene ye ba be fa na say adesua ene ye ba be sua no efa bibia efe no Bigamy ye aware dodo a sebe ye man mu ha no etiamra na mene lawyer Michael Kwabla ena ewo me studio how a private legal practitioner on the Icam law consult ewo airport residential area ewo Kokoshe building nimu ena eye juma na ye ba besua aware ahodo a ye wo krom hanom ena enema ye ya ensem fata etia emra no ewo ye man mu ha ye nkwaje nkwato ye ba na ye de edwumede no ahyeche so video no eda so da ha medin ede ekua asanteba mensa enne te se ne amekan ne yokomo hwetwe na se ya disua no efa bibia ye friend no Bigamy eye aware dodo a etia emra ewo ye man mu lawyer Akwaba
thank you
why efe me ho wache eyi ene ya disua no efa bibia ye friend no Bigamy ho na ansa na ebia ye beko Bigamy ne kwa mpesa won kire aware ase ewo ye man mu ha ene our dodo ayo wo krom ha any the ones that are accepted any the ones that are not accepted.
Okay, all right, thank you. So Bigamy actually is a derivative of marriage. I say in free our who excesses. So first, like you said, no Ghana ha no emra ebo aware ni ho ban no the Marriages Act 1884 to 1985. A friend cap 127. Then there were Matrimonial Causes Act, and also for aware who are aware for no the opportunity. There are legal remedies in law, and where they are supposed to take such actions. Ghana, there were 3 types of marriages. There were Part 1 marriage. Part 1 marriage, no, your friend, customary law marriage, and no, can say a engagement. But that engagement is a complete marriage on its own. The only
say if you are na ye na ya frɛ ebusuafo na ba na ye wo fie na ye friend engagement no. What say ya ware like complete?
It's a complete marriage on its own.
Ye who here say be white one na
no, so make sure one say.
Okay.
The only issue what customary law marriage and as engagement who say potentially polygamous. What it means is that obema ne betumi aware obi oba fraka. That is the thing. Then there were Part 2 marriage, which is Mohammedan law marriage. Muslimi for aware. And also no, there were and also you're potentially polygamous. They say in Mohammedan law no, Obama makes me aware 4, even 5. 5 makes it irregular, but doesn't make it void. Okay. Some Mohammedan aware and so no, and also
no. Wait, let me understand.
Okay.
Let me say, yeah. I think the understanding now, minim said do na nim me kwa minim ne say, me say, for when it comes to the Islamic marriages now, said the maximum 4, but you're just saying something.
No, the maximum is not 4.
So there's no cap to the Islamic marriages. Is that what you're saying?
Ideally, no, the law allows you to marry up to 4. But if you marry 5, the marriage becomes irregular but not void.
Okay.
And a Mohammedan marriage in so worry within 1 week you have to register the marriage. And they say, oh worry now 1 week won't register a marriage now. What the marriage becomes, the marriage more like becomes more like a engagement. If you are worrying, because within 1 week you are supposed to register. The first type of marriage, which is Part 1, customary law marriage, there's no emrani shall also be registered. Then the third part of marriage, Christian and other marriages, and only a monogamous marriage. What it means is that 1 man to 1 wife. So that is it. Now, yanko the Audi can say we get engagement, and we hear say obey wedding. Okay, because the traditional marriage, potentially polygamous, most of the women want to protect themselves. So what it means is that engagement we are no court. Then he converts the marriage. So you are Obian New Ghana under 2 laws. You have converted the traditional marriage into a monogamous marriage. And the law is that in the process of conversion, if you don't follow the essential validities now, your initial marriage still subsists.
Okay.
Christian marriage, you worry sorry them between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
The pastor must be a gazetted minister of the gospel. The location must be a gazetted place. In 2 months, I sorry baby one no say gazette your mom be wedding, your baby from no wedding. Okay. And he said
na sorry na say ya eta hu sorry baby e classroom ti na omo
wedding. So most of the time madam Fubia okoware was sorry bia na sorry was not gazetted. So they have to go to another church. For a pastor who is gazetted to bless the marriage.
So it means that the place may even be gazetted, but maybe ana nipa ne kra no you know.
Correct.
Nisa
Correct.
Okay.
And in the process of conversion, so you can convert from Mohammedan to monogamous. You can convert from part 1, which is traditional marriage, or engagement, to monogamous, which is the Christian marriage. You know. In the process of conversion, if the conversion is not done right, your earlier marriage subsists. And it's very important because normally, say a wife, wedding, people don't really understand the import of it until say bakwe and also who check properties. Then you have to know which particular law guides this marriage. So that is it.
Okay. Mamim bisa say uka gazette na say to me and I say be a license via diamano. What does it mean? And I say does it mean say bia obi ekoware na nipa na ohia ware ne so no say onya gazetted and I say bia baby chronicle mo koye ne bia na nipa na gazetted but baby chronicle mo ye aware ne ye hu evening weddings destination weddings and man aba say baby chronicle enya gazetted and I say to me bia ente che say honum e say ye wedding ho a what does it mean for that marriage?
The marriage is void. It's void ab initio. So there's no marriage at all. And for void marriages, you don't even need the court to declare that marriage as void. The marriage is void. Like I said, no. In the initial stages, no more don't do. They will not get my dream basu. But say BBC our say divorce say check properties say assembly bar anyone. Then when the antecedents of the marriage is broken down in court, I realize that you have not married. What you have done, you are just having fun. Per the law.
Say warrior baby na say who yi
na
yem bise whether the person who is blessing us no indeed license and I say now let's come to the crust of a discussion no bigamy say ka say bigamy then how different is it from polygamy?
Okay, so bigamy no a criminal offense. What bigamy means is provided for in our penal code. Penal code, that is our Criminal Offences Act. Section 263 defines what bigamy is. And with your permission, I want to read.
Thank you.
A person commits bigamy who, knowing that a marriage subsists between that person and another person, goes through the ceremony of marriage, whether in Ghana or elsewhere, with another person. Okay, now, because I said, say, part 1 marriage, which is customary law marriages, is potentially polygamous. Mohammedan marriage is potentially polygamous. So the monogamous marriage in Kwana so warrior and director. You can be you can be charged with bigamy. Okay.
Nti mebao tobo. Would me part 1 at chain. Part 2 no. Se uye wo warrior Mohammedan marriage na say you are supposed to go and register it.
Correct.
Se nipa ne ko register na se ebi okoware fofo eka ho. Na se sa ware ne register ya no embe bigamy ni bi. Okoware
under the same Mohammedan law no not bigamy.
But what is ware under any of the whether part 1 and as part 3 na?
No, okoware under part 1 that becomes very tricky. If you didn't register the marriage, then the marriage there's no difference between the Mohammedan marriage and the customary law marriage.
There's no difference.
Then it's more like you are married under your personal law. Okay. And say and also a fear engagement because if not registered, so the law doesn't recognize it. But on to me, Kowari will be full fraud under monogamous marriage. So Owari will be full fraud under Mohammedan marriage. On your fraud can fine. Or cannot register no register na fine. It still goes into the part 1 because part 1 you don't need to register. Part 1 customary law marriage is to bet me aware or be man bet me aware. Baby, that's why I say they are only a potentially polygamous. So the only type of marriage I worry usan ko worry will be for kanwa bigamy in the part 3, which is the Christian marriage. And on the Christian marriage, you have registrar certificate, you have marriage certificate. You say me break it down because say me worry was sorry them. And so once they wedding they sign something with the minister, the gazetted minister, and a marriage certificate. We go to my assembly so through the publication of ban. Also we go to my registrar, say the registrar of the district, and also we to assign, and also we call as a court, or an also be called assembly. And those are monogamous marriages. And these are the essentials of the monogamous marriage. The parties must be a male and a female. So in Corbett versus Corbett, in the law, the court ruled that the parties must be biologically male and female. So a transgender, now I know to say more to me worry because if biologically ubema now dani who oba later now ko worry young ubema that is not marriage. The parties must be biologically male. Biologically female to marry. The parties should not, by any reason of kindred or affinity, be prohibited from marrying each other. To me, worry, so we call something degree of consanguinity and affinity. Consanguinity, ye moja. To me, worry, affinity, so ye, once a warrior. Semi-wariwa, we become relations. What it means is that union to me that is the affinity. So there's a prohibited degree of consanguinity and affinity. There should not be a valid subsisting marriage between the parties. What it means is that say Obana Wari no. Once we talk about conversion, so Obana Wari under customary law no. Or no, Oba worrying under monogamous marriage, the marriage is complete. But don't you mean worry will be under customary marriage? No, some worry will be full under monogamous marriage.
So, okay, conversion. No, number because okay, if you can convert from part 1 to part 2, and then to part 3, sorry, and then I want to mean converting free. Part 3, ebia masesa ma adwen ebia beginning na ya adwen aye say ebia pese ye one man one woman but say no baby edun ye pese convert na eba part 2 no sorry part 1
so dissolve the part 3 marriage go to the court and dissolve it then when dissolve it then there's no subsisting marriage then you can go back to by MMRA stance now on there you can only convert from part 1 part 2 to part 3
and I Ghana hand
but the reverse is not true like I said no in go be because our any valid marriage but now they will not know. It is only when an issue comes up and most of the time in case laws no time ye change apade bi papa newu na oyire no because of letters of administration especially when there's no will then ebusafo no be chair na say our any cry no go to our so you are not the legally married wife. That's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Inti yeshwe bigamy na tumra ewo Ghana ha as what?
Okay, so like I said, it's a criminal offense, and the punish and so it's a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor nature say you can be sentenced to court between 0 to 3 years, and I say you can be given a fine or both. So, okay. Section 262 now. A person commits bigamy who, knowing that a marriage subsists between that person, goes through another ceremony, whether in Ghana or abroad. And you bigamy.
I don't know also abroad. They said no, so a different jurisdiction. What if say bia wako kro bi so a sa kro no omo de omo mra no epne so say obetimi aware under a year? How has that become a crime?
No. Once you marry under monogamous marriage, the marriage is valid everywhere in the world. In fact, conversion you can convert your marriage through law, like we said, religion or domicile. Domicile in the Chinese say, assuming say Ghana no, we don't have a monogamous marriage. Marriage na a polygamous. Now me need to call England. And now Krobia or Mawari any year only polygamous. Now automatically you do chrome ho near Danny chrome for your marriage no monogamous. Don't you worry from count.
Really?
Yes, that's how the law is. So you can convert through domicile.
Okay. Now, so then what happens to the maximum? Say when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do.
No, sir. So that yes, so that is the law in. So for example, in England, no,
yes, and
most European countries, no, their marriages are mostly monogamous marriage. So in case law, no, India, some of their states allows polygamous marriage. But when you travel from that state and settle in UK yeah, and get the domicile of choice of UK, your marriage automatically becomes monogamous marriage. Unless maybe you have gone back to your home country. In this instance, you have denounced your domicile of choice and then gone back to your domicile of origin.
So if I understand you are, even though you are domiciled in maybe UK, is it possible? Say okay, sir, you're na medene buy no. Ebia you do UK honum no. Okay, honum Matthias it's become monogamous. But then can I have another subsistent marriage? Ewo mikrom no ye your friend say customary marriage. Because I mikrom what okay. I'm permitted. States na be I'm permitted. But me do UK no nyame na me kan your share because of ikro na me wo so no. Enti me no nyame na me koka say me ye monogamous, but because of the your friend say how do you call it? When magia domicile
of choice.
Domicile of choice na magia entina oshena bano. Can I still go back to my hometown and I say me state, me country? Na maka say me ko ware foforo ho ntim. Wo be me UK yere na me ko India. So na me Indian wife.
Oh, if you come back to your home country, yeah. It works, but about for now I be worrying no. To me fanning call abrochi one cause or your second wife. No, you'll be charged with bigamy. Okay. In that state. So yes, that's
do we have anything like that in Ghana?
That's what I'm saying. Ghana, no, we have 3 types of marriages. In the Western world, no, they are not too much they are polygamous averse. And so marriage is monogamous. And so they must problem no. But in Ghana, they will part 1, part 2, part 3. So those challenges are not in Ghana. But when you decide, say Ghana warrior, no be warrior under part 3 there, that means it should be one man, one wife.
Okay. Mama san bisa me do ba we de me de polygamy kakra ba befra. E me say wo church no ka say polygamy no wo part 1 and part 2 no. Be man no na ono ewo the privilege. And I say, "Onu nkwa to me enjoy the right." So bet me afa emma dodo. I didn't know a man no into me nye. Say, "Our ready." I didn't know say a consent between man and woman. It's I didn't know a man or bansun to me so say okay. Once I na worry or customary marriage na say so we be confirm ma me no aka me ho dia. And then me so me confirm me ma ni bi enka me ho.
No, so
me so me worry bi nka ho.
Ghana amrano. It doesn't support polyandry. I think that's what it's called, polyandry. Oba nun to mean worry being obema fufronka ni kunu. But the law gives a man the opportunity to marry to do that. And I think someone said when you are developing the law, it stems from the social character of the people that you are governing.
Right.
From yen nanum tititi mean tis oba aware member 2 or trader. It is accepted in the community. But from here, those things were very normal to them. So I think that's how the law was made to dovetail or to resemble what we have been going through since probably Ghana Empire, and I say since generations, like years ago. Yes, that's what
international say Ghana hano oba into me enyewe. Your friend is saying into me enko worry. Bema bako enka ne kunu ho.
No, not at all.
Okay. Yen hwe sa bigamy ya nkasa. Se let me say wo hwe cases kakra me so makan bi no. Utumi hu say ya na dodo na emema na ya wo mu ko ware ema ne bika sa aware no na ebe ye crime no. A lot of times ya na wo mu ma ema no ehu say ebia o yere dada. And as sa wa we ni bi o dada. Into the situation a oba ni nim say bia bema no ewo eyere na wakosa wa we no unsa meka say ekrom hanom enkofo bebre ato emra ewo hanom. We have a lot of men a wo ma ware dada but we no akoye engagement ewo another woman eho sa enkwala na wo mo basa aware ni mu no wo mo dibiew sen ewo sa aware ni mu.
Okay, so in Ghana, no, according to the court ruling.
First of all, what happens to that marriage? Especially when the other party is not in the know. Say, Behemano, beautiful for or they are doing more kind and or they are basawarim. What happens to that marriage? What happens to that woman? And then man cry basawarim no. What would debut at the same?
That marriage, it's a void marriage ab initio. It can't ab initio from the start. A void marriage. There's no marriage. And unfortunately, it is not your fault. It is because you have also not been Obama and Kanchel. You also probably didn't do any background checks. So that marriage, there's no marriage. In Kolane Bebe Media, in Ghana, no, we don't have irregular, illegitimate children. So in Coleman versus Shan, no, the court ruled that you need illegitimate children. In Kolane Bebe Sawa, they are legitimate children of that union, that illegal union. Perfectly. They are entitled to the estate of their father. The father, if they are under 18, Ghana will start. If they are under 18, let's say, Papa no, any will. Now our mom will be woman. Within 3 years after the probate is granted, no, they can go to court. No man can say, okay, me papa here will no. Wa mama be na before baby no na me di less than 18 years, so you get some. But so 18 years, 21 years here in Ghana, the law and will is that there's no legitimate pursuit. You cannot legitimate portion. Say there's no legitimate portion in your father's will. Say me 25. Now me papa, I will. No see or the will nyama wo nyina they akwache ni pafufura. Me to me we can check court and say me papa adena me papa mama be. No, there's nothing like that. The only thing I can challenge the court is that maybe the will was not properly executed. The other one you can challenge it if you have evidence. But say when you apart from Kola Omodi 18, spouse
18 and below,
18 and below, and oyere, and especially for the spouse, it is a constitutional provision. Apart from oyere or automatic, chefa or nikunu ejapadi muno, make oyere a legally married wife. And in Kola no more obi awake bia so papa wuna se wan ubu 18 ejapadi ni ama obia. You don't have any problem with that.
Inti se ejapadie bi nso ewo mu a saa oba no ene bema ne na aye because say ye awawe na wo ka say enya me fault say me de minim say na me kunu say say 5000 bi na menya na say bibi edan bi kwa na misi na say bibia ma adwen mu no me ne me kunu na eden eye inti se ejapadie bi wom na bia me ne bema ne na aye e bi kwa na manfa mesika. But some men be wo hwe ye matrimonial ye friend say causes acts ya wo kenya say be ma any oba ate na bia be ma ne kwa na di ne sika ya oba no e bia wan fa physical money kwa nhema law no e presume say or substantial contribution equitable contribution bi wo in this case na me be ma ne te me de minim so waware fofo bia o baby especially bi okra na ebusuafo ni na akra ne mo bitumi kwa be ma ne fie ne maame geme so o papa geme so ekrom ho nyina obi anim sam ne nenam na ejapade abemu no na say wo ka say asaware ne avoid no what happens to that property?
Okay, so the position of the law is that, and Mamika of Metro was saying, in situations where a marriage is declared nullity, a spouse who claims any matrimonial property or any part thereof must provide evidence to show that he or she made a substantial contribution towards the purchase of the property before they will be given any part of the property acquired. As I say, court now check court and they say, property you made substantial contribution. The contribution need not to be money, like you indicated, no. And sometimes cases are based, the court look at cases on case by case basis. If the other boy will create we courts, no, the judge realize that you say papa na worry, only now, what no, one man conjugal rights, one man assume we what even though the marriage is a nullity, no, the court looking at your circumstances can give you part, but you have to prove it. And so now prove say indeed, and then we are not assassin, we are not car, we know. Say na me ye room, before you can be given a part of it.
O can say na me ye wo mu a to my my dream na kakra because me ni me kunu tia na me kunu si dan a senke ya ware kronjin a senke no mema proof and mema proof. Do I have to prove say me contribute na?
If it is a valid marriage, then like you said, you have an equitable interest in the estate of a matrimonial property. Okay. But the law is that, and Mamika Latin, they say, ex tepi cosa non oritio axio, and ex dolo malo non oritio axio. The American say, no court will lend its aid to a man who found his cause of action upon immoral or illegal acts. Illegal. There's no way moving any profit. It's like, say, flat. And you see flat, the business. The business is illegal. Oh, to me, because okay, maybe a shower business, papa will see me in court, but mommy part of it. But what the court over time has done is what we call the reliance position. Can you make your claim at the court without relying on the illegality? There's a case, there's City and Country Waste. City and Country Waste, former NDC man Eddie Annan. First, now in name American so a Zoom Lion. So AMA former and contract say on sister ball e wakra. Or the star ball and oye nejuma. Do also kwa jini sika no. AM before they say no. Contract near the no. There was a box you were supposed to take under the Local Governance Act. You didn't take that box, so the contract is invalid. The court ruled that once the applicant or the plaintiff can prove their case without relying on the illegality, they may have their claim will be valid. So that is it. Even though our no knowledge, if you can show proof. Say, ebia edan esi yi mi kunsuo say mi to anya say ebi kura me na me supervision obema ne ko ejuma me na me call site or making sure say contractors in where niama no the court can give you part of it. Yeah. Okay.
Say you be pose wa ha na yakaje enkrato aba because where I was coming to was especially where ebusuafo ene nkofo jejeje so especially me say amaamefo bi ejafo bi no ejeje sa aware no so knowing very well say sa wo mo ba ma no waware. Is there any punishment for those people? But me pese enkoje nkwato ye ba na yakoso mra no se sen e wo UTV so e na wo hwe e na yenkomo twetwe no efa Bigamy aware dodo a etia emra e wo Ghana ha ye koje nkwato ye ba na yato yenkomo ne so UTV so na wo hwe ye Bigamy ho nkomo ene ye hwe Bigamy no ye say eno ye aware a so waware wo Ghana ha part 3 aware na say which is a monogamous marriage as under the ordinance untumi enware bi enka ho eno no na say ukoya ye say ekrom ha no etiamra watomra me say ye constitution ka say no ye dey misdemeanor
the penal code
na in our penal code. Okay, great. Na ye be kono na me ka say lawyer ye share minim say mra no wo bibi ka fa ho something because our we wo kwa akwaje a minim say even kwa wo court na say wo kwa sign na so the witnesses ko maybe not necessarily mama and asa papa but ekrom ha ye bu ebusuan aware na obi ko aware na omame ene opapa me hu bi pen minim say esi wonso ate bi pen omame ne opapa e bi enuanom omo wo nchen na wo mo ekogina sa aware ya yenim say entwa ensiyi echi na ya ware sa oba fufuro a mo ankasa monim say eye void ab ni show ya woken na ya chese ya fuaso sa nkrofo no law no e wo bibi e kafa wo mo ho ana.
All right, thank you. So you can Bigamy enye obema na oba na wakoware enye obema na wakoware oba fufuro ana oba na wakoware bema fufuro no nko na obetuma charge no with Bigamy. In fact omodo obetuma charge on with Bigamy, but asori penyin na o hia aware ni so a onu nim se sa nkofo we ba kwa aware no ena ebusuafo omu di eche omu so omu nim. So you have the law is that there should be constructive knowledge omunim say no waware but mediator for they will be charged with conspiracy to commit crime. So whereas the man or the woman will be charged with bigamy, the supporting parties and they will be charged with conspiracy to commit crime. Conspiracy is an inchoate offense. You can't say inchoate offense. It's an as a okodi boni aboni no NCA, so inchoate offense. An inchoate offense, when it is charged together with the main offense, it carries the same punishment. What it means is that say court no fine say obema no ana oba no akowari obi fufura obetumi a sentence from 0 to 3 years. Supporting parties, so you can also face same punishment. But most of the time, what the court does is that they will give you a fine. The way to mean to have fine now, then you go and serve that punishment. So there's a case per se. So an Accra circuit court in a circuit court in Accra on Thursday slapped a fine of 1,200 Ghana cedis on a driver, Sylvester Ajete Okan, over the charge of bigamy. Now here, I say Okan and 3 of his siblings who accompanied him to contract the new marriage were sentenced to a fine of 600 each, or in default go to 6 months in prison. And once you get Ubana Obehu say Robert so which is not the right way I began. It's a criminal offense, so it's not a civil matter. It's a criminal case. It's not a police station. Police for no. We invite all the people involved and charge them.
What can qualify fame? Say me who say your friend say me your bar, and I'm happy say the law actually provides your friend saying man call for now omu DH na omu buffans masa aware no crown almost say punish omu, but me person of fame say me te hey Kwabla Michael wa ware dada oba wa ba be wa me nim say wo yere macho say some say aware now de me fast no enye papa. What are then na meet me remedies na say me person me call file na me call police station. What should I do?
So you go to the police and make a complaint. The police will take it over either to a circuit court or to a district court. Police normally what the police will do is that they will arrest the people involved. Then within 48 hours the law says that you must grant them bail. If you don't grant them bail, go to the court and explain why you cannot grant them the bail. Then the police will charge these people or better charge them with court. But because it's a criminal offense and the threshold is that the prosecution must prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. What I call report say you must be able to collaborate with the police. So I call report now court that they may not have any evidence to prosecute your case for you. And see, to me, maybe you have the marriage certificate. You know the people who were in that area or why no the namophobia send no pictures or more who compares and who show many movies at baby. So you send all those evidence to the police and they will prosecute your case for you at the district court or the circuit court, and then once they are found liable, they will face the full rigors of the law. Now,
near or no, so there are some no or any legal defenses, Anna.
Correct. So there are defenses to bigamy, and it's provided in the law. So you share section 263 1B. If before the subsequent marriage that person informs the other party to the marriage or the fact of the case so far as they are known to that person. If at the time of the subsequent marriage the former wife or the former husband has been continually absent from the person for 7 years and has not been heard of by that person, has been alive within that time frame, the person or chain say Ubagana ha okoye criminal okoye evidence act na NRCD 323 na we call something presumption. Presumption just say no, there are some facts surrounding the thing which makes the thing looks valid. So you have to come and rebut it to make sure say it is not valid. So you have a rebuttable presumption and conclusive presumption. The presumption in law is that say who will be within 7 years the law is that and the law says that where a person has not been heard off for 7 years, despite diligent effort, and I'll come back to that. Diligent effort to find him, he is presumed dead. Okay. So worry will be maybe we only unchain untenenka ofre na enko why sheda unhunu, and that the word there is diligent effort. And yes, what worry will be no to akotena kumase untenenka mo frɛ mo kasa 7 years when you hune ni we say me go worry for there bi
aka ba be ba wo say hwɛ ya your friend say aware na hu say ya na mema no tu kotena abrochire no e bia we tu akotena abrochire me ka for mema na kaka e bia na se benkrata asem ne ne manti e bia na ontume emba back 7 years etwem ebi mu tumi twem kra akọ 10 years o na onya nkrata na e bia we nya asote say maybe bema na kra moving on. Me who be man no 7 years. Me so nkwa mete ha. I mean I'm growing. Maybe a time I worry na me bia me be 30 years ah. But na say 40 years. Be me so se me nim so oba so mba o. Me to me moving on enko ware fofo.
Otenenka mo kasa. So mo kasa na otenenkwa dia onyirae.
Onyirae.
It is after 7 years now who feel say want to me on Maya go to the court and dissolve your present marriage. Once you dissolve the present marriage, you can marry the next person.
Can that divorce happen without the man being present?
Oh correct. It can happen.
No, it's a saying.
So divorce petition, you draft your petition to the court. The Ghana the law is that so worry within 2 years, you cannot go straight to go and divorce your marriage.
So 2 years,
yes. Within 2, but the law is also provides say ebi aware no. Obemani boo, like Obemani air boo. Sorry, Obemani boo. Okay. Also, the marriage has not been consummated. Like you are not getting sex in that marriage. A man in Gaza because 2 years, so you will seek leave of the court. I don't know the term you have to use depravity. So you seek leave of the court with your petition, and the court will grant you the chance to bring your petition to the court, and you have less than 2 years. But after 2 years, you bet me to court, draft your petition. Now, what's everyone on the other party? If the party does not respond, the whole process will go through. There will be trial, everything, and the court will just give the divorce to you. Divorce the nice size, a divorce decree. Once the court grants you the divorce, you can go and marry. Then the initial marriage has been dissolved.
Mama sign bisa biem abroche for ye. Obi to me kwa abroche no aka say me do ha kra no. Em se ma adwen asesa wa ware no. Nti me de me moving on. Na ampampa hu se nipa ne moving on na wa ware fufuro. Wetumi akọware eya mpre pi no ye hu se ya menim. I don't know how it's possible a wo mutumi eware fufuro. Ebia no wa ware nso wa ha. What then happens to that marriage na be man akọware wo no? And I say so ba ne so nim say okay be man ampampa wo se me pe me baby mfa. Wa moving on akọware wo. Na busuafo kra mpe me ni matwe. Oba ne so dan no betumi aye. And no so some be man moving on na ebia na ye customary marriage na ye. Me ntumi mfa ne nsa enkoma na busuafo na me so me moving on and I know so ebi kra na customer makọ register or court. Do I have to go back to the court and say me moving on?
So customary marriage, you don't register. There's no position on you to register the marriage. Say, no worry under customary marriage.
But you can.
No,
or you cannot.
The law does not require you to register.
Okay.
So no worry under customary marriage. Now Obama need to kind of moving on now. And once Obama file with your opinion. Now and son the bread no. When they accord the busia full fee, then the parties will terminate the marriage. Now walk away for. If it's under ordinance, like I said, you have to go and get a divorce. But if there's a case there, the lady now will raise the issue as a defense. So property needs to be because the marriage between us is void. If the abuse ban and Ghana need ban or any say before the ban warrior. Or try and talk about more, then you raise that as a defense. So there's a particular case Papa no worry near Belgium. But Mammy no call Belgium no nyan krata in tem. And omuye what we call the contract marriage. And Oshiaga and no worry no krata amount. Obema nim and Obema ni be worry no. ena obema ne ba Ghana ena oba no call oba ne do te Belgium e na ejuma oboa Ghana for like connection marriage no
yeah
almost see dan bi nu wa Accra Kaneshi eni jow no later na papa ne ja aware no papa no say won ware oba ne biom oba no by say oba divorce oba be pay properties in the marriage no obema ne kai ne say what dey ukrata ware wa abrochi what did that so that's the defense they raise so that marriage in itself the court realized that the marriage was void but because properties home no and the position of the law is that you have to show substantial contribution no court no will say oba no wo Belgium no the car se ba e ma be ma no eton be ma no kwa loan wa abrochi when to me nche no dwane ba Ghana no otu aka and because of that they gave her 40% of the properties in Ghana. You see,
40%.
So people
man say renew
properties in Ghana. No, Obama so contributed to the properties, but now the defense of the Obama crying in the course of the divorce, Obama we. And normally in a divorce parties, if the party dies now, there's no divorce because when it's a valid marriage, it's only between the two living parties. And to Obama no ebusuan for be challenge say property mama mini be until the woman was able to prove her contribution to the property and she was given 40%. So like I said, no, moti ona mo obi any secret omo nkasa ba to kwanya ba pe then they will remind you say no we kura na worry that until am ba worry so that's the defense they will normally come with.
What be so last one let me say your time now so but me say what happens to one more minim say yemi enu yenim say ya worry na ya shada koda do obi nkrata 70 na be etu kwan na ya kwaje and I say even Ghana ha kra obi o ha oba e bia say obi fiama no ne awaba nipa na pe e bia Ghana citizenship nti yenim say worry na sika kakra e wo mu nti na ya koda da nipa kro na ya je worry emra no e wo ye fe ne say bibi and as a punishment bi ma sankofo a wo mo so e yesa no.
Yes, so what worry did that? Now, yes, our connection, our any idea. It is bigamy. So the other party can report it. Like I indicated earlier, no. Problem only arises in the marriage when there is a disagreement and dispute. And this disagreement being penna secret a woman now be so then what you are doing is illegal. It's against the law. By a nyanche you think that you are fine.
You are fine.
Yeah.
Yo, medasenti lawyer say yesua bebre afa bigamy ho ye hu say say part 3 no honom no say unim say opese o worry bi eka wo partner ho especially men man unim say opese o worry bi ka partner ho you are better off marrying under the part 1 which is the customary marriage and I say part 2 which is the Mohammedan marriage. Na mo ko ordinance marriage and I say sorry for marriage na say dia eno de untumi worry bi nka ho wo worry bi ka ho a watumra and there was says our na susukura no say then oba biological male and a biological female.
Correct.
And there was say one more sawari no but tofa will final words na one more na say ahwefo a one more hwe no one benya afutu bi e de akọ.
Before the final word, man, Pacho, give me the opportunity for we can say.
Pacho, you
say one thing the panic your defense say be a defense account bigamy say one thing the panic for 7 years no. You must inform the other party of the worry no. Say my worry but nipa na minute no me hu bebi o my hwe ma me hu no like over for this number of years me hu no be to worry say one born amane no call ahead ko worry wa you cannot charge that person with bigamy. So that's the cause of the defense. You must inform the person you are going to marry so that or also be done want to say okay NDA aware we mami nkom na say mami nkom but say information crowd now one farm money there you cannot that person cannot be charged with bigamy.
All right. Last one, Patrick, person will make it clarity. Customary marriage, you be a wawari or customary marriage. I say no we sure ba for no call your sa or ban who wedding and no call your so ban who awari ewo sorry and under the ordinance no and no so Patrick muka cry.
So that marriage is void marriage. Nipa na wari no customary law marriage no. So that's the same person say odini kwa sorry so ko wari sorry marriage. Won't mean wari will be customary law marriage. No wari will be full.
That's it.
The marriage itself is void. It's a void marriage, yes.
That's until final words na yenko.
Okay, so be final words and say I know that when we are in love say odo woman sometimes yes you see aso obi ke be crack check obi say we on pemasem on our na mi kom na ya take your time do your investigations and be very sure because our rebel are between work or prison. So that's my advice.
Meda say lawyer Michael Kwabla or your private legal practitioner or Ekam law consultant e airport residential area or more Kokoshe building mo ena ene ye ne no esuade for bigamy ho nti say you the difference between polygamy and a bigamy. Bigamy only happens when you've married under the ordinance and as a worry a Christopher worry ni bi na afei wako worry obi fofo aka ho and no it's yamra to the extent say yes we wait to me cry then ako prison until as much as possible yen try say answer me be worry no yen bise mu na yen make sure say I have due diligence and sana yaka I do actually nipa no yen brand say e wo UTV so e na wahwe medin e de ekua asante ba mensa na say na ye besin hye biem bye bye.